This week, Super Tuesday made it clear that it's Trump's world. We're just living in it, desperately trying to perfect space travel. This is Friday Night Party Line. I'm your host, Victor Frost. Tonight, we have a passel of petulant panelists peeve that pollsters and their propensity towards perpetual perfunctory peevishness. Starting with the man with the least skin in this horrible, horrible game called the American Body Politic, we've got Churba. Hey, man.
I'll punch you.
Why are you angry at me, Churba? What did I do?
I'm not. It was just alliteration.
Ah, okay.
I was impressed.
Around here.
Next, we've got the nicest New Yorker. It's Nelson.
Eh, fuck off.
Being uncharacteristically New Yorkan today.
Go Yankees. Although that was more of a Boston accent, really.
It was. And
Boston
you don't start
New
that
York.
beef with no.
Yeah.
Victor, you grew up in Providence. You know how big the difference is.
You know, I worked very, very hard to get rid of my accent, so I'm good. That is the dulcet tones of Mr. Greg Teague von
Von
Hosten. What's up, man?
Tropical stuff.
Yes. He's actually, at this moment, and this is a very rare thing, he is geographically closer to Churba than I am at the moment, which is very weird for our usual round of panelists. He's in the middle of the Pacific, calling in from wonderful, beautiful Maui.
No, I'm just in the ocean.
Ah, okay, you're on a
I'm
little...
just kind of treading water.
You're okay. Yeah. Oh, is that the seagulls I saw?
That's
Okay.
the seagulls.
Right. And last but certainly not least, it is perhaps one of the most educated people I know, Scott Johnson. Hey, Scojo.
I can assure you that even though he besmirched my small hands, that I am well endowed.
Or does he just think that because it looks enormous when he wraps his tiny little baby hands around it?
Giving a wonderful example of the circus Lestrange that was the debate. This,
Before we go on,
last night,
there is
right?
one piece of business we need to address first.
Oh yes, go ahead, Trevor.
Friend of the show, Luke Burridge, just recently had his 300th episode for the Science Fiction Book Review Podcast, the podcast that does what it says on the tin.
Yep.
So, congratulations to him. It has been excellent listening to every episode as they come out. So, yeah, go and listen to that. It's really good.
I will definitely say that his show is very high quality, though there have been a couple of episodes that I did not necessarily agree with. The biggest one being that of the Honor Harrington series. But regardless, it is an excellent show.
I was talking to a dude on Reddit on the podcasting section because they're like, oh, suggest some podcasts. And some guy was saying, oh, yeah, try this book podcast. And I said, oh, you should try the SFBRP, blah, 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 gave the pitch.
Mm-hmm.
And the guy's like, oh, yeah, I actually started my podcast because of the SFBRP because I disagreed with basically everything Luke said. So I was like, well, fuck this guy. I have my own podcast.
Podcasting out of spite. It's beautiful.
That's basically, my mom does the Disney podcast, Those Darn Cats, and that's basically how they started, is that no one was the voice of dissent.
All right, well, we have quite a bit to discuss, not the least of which being the incredible display of really the most statesman-like behavior in the most recent Republican debate. My goodness.
So, wait, I want to start with asking Churba, as a non-American, how does it feel to know that the guy who might have his finger on our entire military strength, they decided to have a discussion about each other's packages in the middle of a debate?
Can I just drink this bottle of Spick and Span and just call it a day?
I suppose there is the old saying that any man who doesn't want to be president is more qualified for the job, and any man who does want to be president should be hung. Well, I suppose we've fulfilled that.
Oh. I'll allow it.
The funny part with that debate is, and like what has been going on, is they're just like making commercials for the general election right now.
Oh, I know.
It's just gonna be like, do you really want this person to be in charge of the country? Like, well, look at this. Look at this debate. These people are calling each other con artists and talking about their packages.
To be fair, if I actually was on that debate stage running for president, I can't say that I wouldn't talk about my dick. I can't even go one of these shows without talking about my dick.
Or a dick in general.
Or A in general, yes. Variety is the spice of life.
Yep. Or dick accessories, because there was that one episode when you discussed your artisanal, handcrafted wooden cock rings.
Hey, that was a thing of beauty.
But what a clusterfuck.
I'll admit it, I only watched the first hour. After that, there was a goat here. And
I saw some breaking tweets about that goat.
Yes, the goat pooped at one point, but I told people that if they wanted to see some shit, they should just watch the debate.
I was kind of amused by how Fox News, they tried to be a real news organization. Like they aped the mannerisms and were like, I'm going to show a video of you saying one thing and then a video of you saying the other. How do you respond? Catch you in the spotlight. It did not work. It really did not work.
Well, they're so rusty at it. Can you blame them?
They're extremely rusty, and they're trying to do it to Trump.
I give them credit for trying because that's more than the rest of the networks did.
That's true.
I mean, look at this headline on CNN. Donald Trump defends size of his penis. CNNPolitics.com. Who thought that would be a headline for a presidential debate?
There was heavy debate over that headline about whether they could actually talk about him defending his penis or whether they were going to say it was about the size of his hands and run with that instead. I'm so glad they went with penis.
It used to be that they would portray Democrats as like the not serious group of people, and the Republicans would be like the, we are traditional, like standard family values and whatnot, and it's just this run is just really showing you how crazy that is.
Well, I mean, I think it's more showing how one person
then growing.
How it takes like one person just to set the tone for the entire process. I mean, if Trump was not in this race, we'd still be saying, that kind of a headline for presidential debate. Come on, let's be serious.
I don't know, because one Trump may spoil the bunch, but Rubio and Ted Cruz, and to a lesser extent Jeb Bush, they all tried to jump on him. They tried to jump on his dick. They did not let it go. They did not say, "Sir, we shall take the higher path." No, they went all the way there.
Hey, Jeb had the decency to leave.
He did. Well, because his mom was very disappointed. It was his bedtime. He had to go to bed.
Carson just sort of, drifted away from the whole thing.
It's weird how Carson actually became transparent as the weeks went on. Like he had actually been erased from time, Back to the Future style.
I mean, like you were saying, that debate was so focused on Trump that I think when they looked at how many questions he got and how many times he got a chance to reply and interrupt, it was like double the next person.
Mm-hmm. And good on Kasich for not being the only person who didn't go down that road, but also bad on Kasich for being super sexist and terrible, like in his own right.
Well,
Like,
I
he's
mean,
not a
this
good
is,
person.
hey,
Oh, I was
Nelson, we got to remember, this is the Republican Party we're dealing with here.
Yeah, I've seen
You
a lot
gotta-
of people
you
being
gotta
like, "Oh, Kasich seems reasonable."
Yeah, he's reasonable compared to the
By
other people.
comparison.
Yeah.
The issue
Yeah, and
I
like
have
he
with-
actually.
See, I don't know. This
the
all
issue I
seems
have
slightly.
with Kasich,
Go ahead, Greg.
Oh, sorry.
the issue I had with Kasich is that he keeps playing the reasonable person card. If he was just kind of there being himself, then I could get behind him being reasonable, but he's always going to point it out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
It's like people tell me I'm the reasonable one. It's like, oh, that's
And-
cool.
And he also has no dramatic timing. Like, if you play the reasonable card, you have to have the proper timing. Like, you have to be like, "We are not Quakers here yet, Mr. Proctor," and then, you know, everyone's focused on you. But he was just like, "Oh, I'm reasonable. Oh, hey, it's me, the reasonable guy. I'm that guy who was the reasonable one."
It's like Ben Carson saying, "Can someone
Can someone attack me?" Yeah.
See, this whole thing seems slightly tame to me, I must admit. I'm just going to link you gentlemen to a short YouTube clip from Australian Parliament.
Look, we know
Oh,
your
hey,
parliament
this is-
cool, but that is
Is
not.
this the unicorn thing? This is the unicorn thing, isn't it?
Well, this is also no oh, what's his name? This is no New Zealand dildo incident, but
Hey, look,
No,
we
no.
are a serious country here, Jerva.
You know, I don't know.
This incident is a member of the currently reigning government turning around and saying to a member of the opposition, "You are such a cunt." And the only notice this receives from anyone is the Speaker of the House saying the minister will refer to people by their proper titles. This is like day-to-day shit, so...
No, I mean,
But I'm still enjoying the presidential race. It is a fun circus.
it's a fun circus because it's not going to be your country run by a crazy person.
Isn't he planning to move here eventually?
Yeah, but I can
Maybe we should-
always push those plans back a little. I'm pretty sure I'm going to live longer than the next 8 years.
Yeah.
What if
Oh.
Trump's elected?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, they might be. They might. Yeah, you don't know what's gonna happen then. It might be all Mad Max, and of course you live in Mad Max territory, so welcome
Yeah,
to the.
that'll
You're gonna have those like barbarian dudes like beating the crap out of you.
Trump's
Oh, man.
legion motoring across the Nevada desert, all shiny and gold.
Yeah, no, I mean, Trevor, you're not gonna be Kenshiro. You're gonna be that guy in the beginning with the suitcase running off with money. No one's ever Kenshiro. Remember that.
so here's a
Oh, man.
question to
I
our
will tell you who fucking runs Bartertown, boy.
here's a question to our esteemed panelists. Do you think it's a brokered convention, or do you think Trump will actually straight up win the primary? Because I don't
Brokered
know.
convention, without a doubt.
Bro-
Trump
I'm-
doesn't have over 50% right now, and frankly, considering the fact that more than 60% of Republicans haven't actually voted for him in the primaries, it's just that other 60% is split between like a half dozen other people. That's the reason
But
he's
his
the front runner
polling,
right now.
No,
his
see-
polling.
let me step in here for a second. So that would be true if the Republican races were all proportional like the Democratic races. But because
That's true.
the Republican races have winner take all, you can win 30% of the vote in Florida and still win all of the delegates and no one gets anything else. And right now, because Florida's crazy, but we knew that, I mean, but let's be clear, the Republicans in Massachusetts voted like nearly 50% for Trump too. So you can't really say
I
like
don't-
Florida is like screwed up. But the point is
I
currently
don't understand. I don't understand what happened in Massachusetts. I know both the Republicans we have.
But I could very easily see Trump winning all northeastern states.
Oh yeah.
He is the same kind of Republican as, say, Buddy Cianci.
Yep.
Oh
Like-
boy.
He is the same
Yeah, I mean,
kind of
Trump-
like, I'm gonna throw a cigar at you.
But Nelson, Buddy Cianci actually has a proven record of, yes, he's corrupt and bad, but he did get things done. It's
Hey,
just
Yeah.
That's my argument for Hillary. What are you talking about?
bad and corrupt, but actually did do things.
But see, there's the problem is like right now. Okay, so I have a feeling it's not going to be a brokered convention because I think what's going to end up happening is it really is going to come down to Ohio, just like the general for the Republicans. Ohio, if Kasich wins Ohio, the chance of a brokered convention goes up. If Trump wins
Makes sense.
Florida and Ohio, it's over. Game over.
Game over, man.
Game over,
I mean,
man.
what other states
You're gonna
are there?
see. You're gonna watch all these Republicans saying "Never Trump" get down and start,
Kissing ass.
kissing ass and become part of the Trump train. Except for the few people who actually have some,
There's a
Well, they did, though.
the development
They already-
recently on that
Oh, I
is
know, the
actually
debate.
kind of crazy because after the convention, after the not the convention, after Super
Debate.
Tuesday and after the debate, Mitt Romney comes out and he puts out this
before the
big
debate, yeah.
statement about Trump, and then I was sitting there and saying, okay, Mitt Romney, he's coming out of nowhere. Is this some sort of move, kind of waiting for the other shoe to drop? And lo, shoe number 2 hath fallen. Mitt Romney's campaign accounts have been restarted, which is kind of out of nowhere.
Now, they got restarted earlier this year. This wasn't a development today. It's just that no one really noticed until
Pay
today.
attention because they weren't caring.
Yeah.
Romney and Paul Ryan.
So-
Ugh.
Well, no, but I think
Here's
that's
the
the
thing
name.
about-
That might be the name of his political action. Like they might have a joint
Yeah.
thing because of they were running together.
Because they're
Yeah.
getting married.
Yeah. I think that's mainly so that he can run ads in the election and not be like a super PAC.
Ah.
I don't really think he's a serious contender for
Well, I
like,
don't think
anything
he's
in particular.
I don't think he'd be a serious contender either. What I'm thinking is that maybe the GOP is trying to further dilute the field and pull more voters away from Trump.
Yeah, but I can't imagine there is any of the Trump voters that are like, you know what, Romney would be a better choice. I feel
Now,
like,
Romney would split the Kasich vote.
yeah, I feel like he'd be hurting Rubio and Kasich.
Hmm.
It's really
There's
embarrassing
probably
to lose your own
with
state. I
Trump,
just want to put that out there. Like
Yeah,
little Marco. Very embarrassing.
Well, it's
Little
gonna. I mean, he
Marco.
might. I mean, I would not be surprised if he did drop out if he loses Florida, but I know he can't at this point because he just
Right.
like at this point, if he drops out, like I don't know,
He's
the
done.
Republican Party
He has
just
no career.
yeah. Well, it's not even
Yeah.
that. The Republican Party is just going to be like boom, because they don't want Cruz either.
Oh yeah. No one likes him. That's the
No.
most astounding thing is that like it's not a professional thing. It's not he's a crazy theocrat that will destroy this country. No, people genuinely do not enjoy being in his presence.
His
He is
college,
such a
his college
odious
roommates.
personality.
His college roommate said that if he agreed with Cruz on everything, he would only hate him 1% less.
That was a
And
great interview.
here's
He
the
appears to
fun part.
be one of those people that is just so hateable. Like, you just look at him and you're like, I don't know anything about this guy, but I immediately don't like him.
When I listened to the debate, I actually started to like Trump more because of whenever Cruz attacked him.
I liked Trump more because of.
Oh, go on, Greg.
I liked Trump more because of when he was attacking Cruz. And he would be like, nobody likes you.
Yeah.
You cannot get any support. And I'm just like, he's right.
I mean, that's why. Obviously, that's why Ted Cruz became the Zodiac Killer.
What Cruz needs to do is he needs to play the comments of his college roommate back as a positive. Consistency is very important in politics, especially to the Republican Party. We will be consistent all the way off a fucking cliff.
All right.
So all he needs to do is just hook up and say, yes, well, I know people think I'm a horrible sociopathic fuckface, but as these comments and all of these testimonies from people who have known me my entire life agree, I have always been a detestable fuckface. Just ask my mother.
Cruz is at least a good orator. Like, he's bad with rhetoric, but when he talks with, like, authority.
He doesn't talk good, yeah.
Yeah. You don't see that from Rubio or Kasich.
That's
It's true.
Well, see, Rubio has a little bit of a nervous tick. I mean, it's been well documented, but it's not great. He's not great under pressure. And Trump obviously gets, I think blustery is the term.
Blustery is his default position.
That's true. He gets a little dark and stormy when anyone calls him on anything.
Can we just talk about for a second how much Cruz looks like Grandpa Munster?
He fucking does, doesn't he?
So there was a psychological study on why people do not like his face that we should link in the show notes because it is interesting. There are scientific reasons why his face is bad.
I think that is possibly one of the best insults I've ever heard. Your face is scientifically awful. It is not just awful subjectively. It is
That
awful
laughing is
in a manner that is studyable and replicatable.
that laughing is Nelson suddenly bursting into laughter upon seeing a picture of Cruz and Grandpa Munster.
It's so true. If I still did politics professionally, I think I'd want to be in the press pen for this, and I would stick my hand up and ask Cruz if he calls his car the Dragula.
There was Lincoln was attacked for being two-faced at one point, and he said, "If I had another face, would I wear this one?" And I feel like that's what Cruz needs to do. He needs to put on a new face.
Well,
the
good thing he's Zodiac Killer. He could just go and take someone's face off while he's,
Go to your face gallery.
be
And
a la the
grab a new
Joker.
face.
Be a la the Joker and just have one sort of safety pinned on,
Man, that was a good run.
All right, so we've been knocking at the Republican Party for quite a while now. Let us.
There's another party in this fucking shit show.
You wouldn't think so, but there does happen to be another parallel race going on between let me just make sure I have this written down. Ms. Hillary Clinton and Bernie Sanders.
It's pronounced Bernays.
Bernays. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Bernays Anders.
Okay,
Yes.
before we go any further on that track, I just have to say I really, really, really like Bernie's accent. It is amazing.
Oh yeah.
It is one of the best American accents I've ever heard.
That's why Brooklyn is the best, not really a city, but sort of a city. Post city.
I think you mean borough.
It used to be a city until the 1850s, 90s, 1920s, 1950s. Sometime in the last 200 years.
Any time in that century.
The numbers just go,
Sometime
Somewhere-
between 1776 and 2016.
At some point after World War I and before now.
I don't know if it was after World
No,
War
but he
I.
said 1815 through 1950.
Yeah, I don't know.
Who knows?
Wait, did he say 8? Did you say 1850?
Yeah, it was. Yeah,
Hey, man,
I
New
think
York
it was
has a
in the
long
20th
historical
century,
history.
but I'm not sure. Yeah.
I come back into
Um,
the conversation, and you guys are talking about the 1850s. See, this is what
Let's
I
go,
knew
Joe.
was going to happen.
Skojo, let me catch you up here. There we go.
Oh, nice, yeah.
Yep. So, there you go.
Yes, we were just discussing Bernie Sanders' accent, and from there, Brooklyn.
Yep.
But yeah, seriously, I just
Brooklyn.
really love his fucking accent.
1898.
It's great. Shit, he was on the money. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, it was kind of a sweep for Hillary in the on Super Tuesday.
I mean,
Mhm.
technically, if you go by delegates, yes. I mean,
Oh, is there another way to go by it?
well, no, I mean, you know, if you're looking at states,
She's winning the hearts and minds. Or he's
there
winning the
were
hearts.
some states. There were some
White
states
people.
where she didn't win. The states that don't have minority populations and were caucuses, so very undemocratic. Ooh.
Well, the
I can't
interesting.
remember who it was, but someone said projected headline for the next few months: Bernie Sanders victorious in every state where the voters could hide in a snowbank.
That was a Larry Wilmore line.
Nice.
Yes, that's
Nice.
it. Thank you,
Yeah.
Larry Wilmore.
What I find interesting about Sanders is that despite being further to the left, he's doing well in traditionally right-wing states.
Mm-hmm.
That wasn't the argument that was being presented on my Facebook. They were saying Hillary was winning. They were saying Hillary was winning in all the states that don't matter in the general because they're going to vote Republican. Therefore, it pissing me off because they were pretty much being like, yeah, black votes don't really matter, even though we care about your issues. We don't really want you to vote because.
What about Oklahoma?
Oklahoma is
No one
not.
cares about Oklahoma.
Yeah,
It's not legally a state, actually.
Yeah.
Fun fact. It's still a territory.
Wait,
I mean,
really?
there's a reason we gave it to the Indians. We did not want that place.
Yeah, it's not a great place.
But Oklahoma is a pretty right-wing state, if I recall correctly.
Well, no, I mean, historically, Oklahoma is a very populist state. Historically, a lot of really crazy, a lot of radicals came from Oklahoma. So, I mean, recently it's become extremely right-wing in its policies, and it's been suffering mainly because of that, or maybe because no one really wants to live in Oklahoma. Sorry, people from Oklahoma.
It's a flyover state.
But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that it's not the correct. I don't know what I'm trying to say at this point. But Oklahoma is. I lost my train of thought.
Well,
What happened was your train of thought went right into Oklahoma.
Oklahoma, I went
up.
up a tornado and out.
Yeah, the issue with the what I see is that Sanders appeals to the voters that will swing the election, whereas the minority vote we kind of have down. I'm not saying that means we shouldn't appeal to them.
So wait, you're saying the 18 to 29-year-olds generally vote Republican in elections, or that they're in the middle? Is that what
No,
you're
that
saying?
they're the people that decide.
No,
the
yeah.
elections.
No, actually,
No,
the people that decide the election are old people.
Poor white people are the swing voters, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, they can't make up their minds. As a race, white people just can't make up their minds.
Yeah, they
I
just
think-
split their vote all the time.
Let's dispel
The
once and
look
for
on
all with
each one of your
this
faces.
Let's dispel once and for all this fiction that white voters don't know what they're doing. They know exactly what they're doing.
Oh my gosh. So
I don't know though.
let me just revisit real quick the demographics of Oklahoma win that Sanders had in a caucus. I would like to note Oklahoma is, according to 2000. Why don't we have 2010? Anyway, in 2000 it was 82.
They're
It was 82% white, and 8.3% black, while Georgia, where Hillary Clinton won 70-some% to like 20, is 56% white, 30% black. So you can see that there's like a definite difference in the size of the minority population in that state.
Yeah,
and really,
the way I see it is that Clinton is going to appeal to Democrats more. Sanders has a better chance of when Sanders will do better in general. I think it's fair for either.
I don't know if he would do better in the general, though.
I mean, the general election polls that come out now are not particularly that useful because we're not in the general election, right? And but the bigger point is that, and 538 I think pointed this out, is if you compare Sanders' numbers to the generic Democrat numbers, they're about the same. So really, he's just polling the generic Democratic number because he has no name recognition.
Yeah, and the GOP has been viciously attacking Clinton for 20 years, whereas Sanders has been twiddling his thumbs, staying quiet, comparatively.
Yeah, but that's like saying, like, hey, you know, we'll go with this guy who hasn't been attacked and hope that he can take a punch.
Yeah, a lot of people, a lot of pundits and thought leaders are saying, oh, you know, he hasn't actually been attacked yet. It'll be potentially a huge problem if he is attacked.
That's bullshit. He's constantly attacking his own supporters.
That is, I agree with Greg.
Wait,
that is bullshit. But also, those were some fucking shade-throwing eyebrows from Nelson right there.
No, I couldn't hear. You were choppy.
Yeah, neither of us.
Eyebrows were worth 1,000 words there. For the
choppy.
The shade-throwing.
Yeah, Greg.
Sanders
repeat what you said.
Sanders has been attacked by his supporters.
By his supporters?
Yes.
Interesting. Go on.
Okay. Explain.
Are you talking about the Bernie Bros or?
Oh yeah. People keep attacking. The people who argue for Sanders are the ones who attack his platforms.
It's weird.
Actually, yeah. I have kind of seen that around the place.
Sherba's more thoroughly in the Bernie Bros circles.
Well,
that is
so he's gonna be able to speak to this better than I am.
I object to that.
I don't mean to say you get along with them. I don't mean to say you get along with them. I mean to say you're exposed to them.
Yes, I'm a little more familiar with them because they have an overlap with other groups that I kind of keep an eye on because they're hilariously entertaining and also horribly shitty. But yeah, it's kind of like they're the kind of people who have they're the kind who say, yeah, I'm super left-wing, I'm a super liberal, I'm voting Democrats, go Bernie Sanders. And then all of the positions that they actually like sound like they would be coming from Trump, not Sanders.
Mm-hmm.
The kind of people who don't like minorities, don't care for women, except in the sexual sense.
Yeah, that was found in the exit polls on Super Tuesday, actually. Bernie Sanders was winning voters that said that they wanted policies that were less liberal than Obama's.
Yeah, because people don't fucking examine what candidates believe. They just kind of go, I like this guy. He probably believes what I believe. I'm just going to roll with that forever.
Yeah, and you know who pulled off a political revolution that way? Ronald Reagan.
Yeah.
Reagan was so likable and had such a good brand. He had the most destructive scandal in American history and bounced back, sweeping 49 states.
I feel like Reagan at his peak was probably more likable to the general melange of Americans than Bernie Sanders is. As much as I personally like Bernie Sanders.
Yeah, I'm not saying that Sanders would win a 49-1 landslide. What I'm saying is that brand isn't nothing.
That's true.
It's true.
Fair.
Yeah,
I'm also saying that Ronald Reagan is an excellent name for a 50s sci-fi pulp hero.
Or villain.
You know that he was, right?
Yeah.
No?
I don't know if he did sci-fi, but he had his long tenure in Hollywood as a
Oh yeah, I
actor.
knew he was an actor. I just didn't know he was in anything like sci-fi pulp stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, it was very pulpy mystery stuff.
Nice.
I don't know. I don't think that, as much as this seems like such a simplistic argument, the whole like, oh, you know, Americans aren't going to vote for a socialist, by which they mean, you know, independent, low information voters won't vote for a socialist. It's a very simplistic argument, but I don't know if it's wrong necessarily. I would like it to be wrong because it says something about the state of our, you know, citizenry, but I don't know. It might be right, and that is kind of sad.
Yup.
Like, would they just be like, "Oh, he's a socialist"?
What
See,
the fuck
well,
do these people-
I'm not.
That's how
I don't-
Americans are.
I actually don't fear if Trump gets the nomination on the Republican side. Honestly, I feel like Bernie or Hillary will be able to dispatch him pretty easily because just if you put them right next to each other in a debate, it's just gonna look really, really bad. My problem is a little bit more on the fact that Bernie Sanders has run more or less a single issue campaign. And
Yeah.
I don't really like candidates that are hyper-focused on one aspect of governing. I like candidates that can, like, you know, govern. It's why I like Kasich on the Republican side. Like, he might not, I might disagree with all of his policies, but I kind of know he can govern. He's shown that he can change his mind.
Well,
if the populace, like, you know, rebuked him. Like,
You heard what he said today, though, that he wants to make the government Uberized. He wants to Uberize the federal government.
Cool.
well, I mean, you knew
So
you
I don't
were
know.
like
I don't
that,
know if
right?
he can govern.
You gotta say
literally
something
cannot
different,
get rid of
right?
this.
Congress people, if they have less than 4.7 stars, I'm okay with that.
Now, to be fair, I think that, like, the point of, you know, Hillary will beat Trump or Sanders will beat Trump by more and all that, I think that's a really weird point to make because you could pretty much put an eggplant on a stick and draw a face on it, and if you ran that eggplant as a Democrat, it'd probably win against Trump.
Yo, I've been rooting for the wood block with a veto stamp to get the nomination.
I like his position on healthcare, but I think the dipping bird with a veto stamp would get more done.
Yeah, I mean, at least that one's moving, right?
Right.
He's
Very
not
consistent,
moving
too.
forward on the issues, but he is moving up and down a lot.
So what was really killing me in the last week is just the proliferation of people like trying to polish the turd for their candidate, like on Super Tuesday. It was just driving me batty. Like there was, I mean, not to bash the Bernie people, but a lot of people were posting things that were like Obama putting his hand, like, don't worry, I lost Super Tuesday and I still won. And I'm like, no, actually, he got more delegates and he won more states on Super Tuesday.
Wait,
Like, where the heck are you getting this from?
isn't that the exact reversal of the meme that came up a couple of weeks ago where it was, hey guys, don't worry, we voted for Obama because he wasn't Hillary in 2008, and it actually turned out that Obama won on delegates and Hillary took the popular vote. So you really did vote for Hillary.
No, and that's the other hilarious part of this election. A primary election.
The memes and conspiracy theories is amazing. I'm enjoying it as much as I seem like I get very aggro about it. I really do enjoy it because I fucking love conspiracy theories. From the outside looking into them, really,
Trump,
but they're so good.
during the debate, this was very quiet, but during the debate, Trump brought up the families of the 9/11 hijackers were sent, like, secreted away back to Saudi Arabia conspiracy theory. Like, he straight up brought it up. It was kind of amazing.
Well, you know what the other funny one that some people were posting? They were posting, these are leftist, like Green Party liberals, posting tweets from Ann Coulter.
Oh,
saying,
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, saying Hillary is winning all the states where Dems don't have a prayer in the general election. Bernie's winning Dem and swing states. And I'm just like, well, first, last I checked, Iowa, Nevada, and Virginia are swing states, and Massachusetts is the blue state. So I don't know what you're talking about. But second, why are you tweeting Ann freaking Coulter for your political advice on the Democratic primary?
So hard that we lost Greg.
Yeah, I forcefully pushed him off there with that.
Come back, man.
That was your Fusro Da, is what it was.
And also, there is a third point to that, which is it doesn't fucking matter that, she's winning states that go red in the general, because we're not talking about a race between red and blue. We're talking about a race between blue and blue. This is some fucking blue-on-blue action here, which I hear the U.S. military has a grand tradition of. Nelson just giggled in his head.
Yeah.
But
fifthly,
so we're not worried about these fucking Republican voters who would normally dominate the state. We're worried just about the Democratic voters in those states who are going to vote Democratic anyway.
Yeah, and the biggest problem in the primary right now for Sanders is that there aren't winner-take-all states in the primary. So people are like, well, he can catch up, but it's actually really going to be really hard for him to catch up because of the massive wins that she got throughout the South. And if she wins all the southern states at those margins, he doesn't really have any more other than Vermont and New Hampshire that are really going to be total 50-point wipeouts. And guess what? Those states don't have a lot of people or delegates.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, I don't want to be a downer because I hate telling my liberal friends that they're on a lost cause, but it's not looking good, and it's not going to be super delegates that determine this. It's going to be regular delegates.
Yeah, I must admit, I have been trying to be very positive to my Bernie supporting friends, and when Bernie took a loss in Nevada, I was like, hey man, don't worry, there's more states coming. It's just one state. We knew she was going to take that one. Don't worry about it. Writing was on the wall. But it's getting harder and harder to find things to be positive about in this campaign, because while he's not falling off the cliff and tumbling down the hill just yet, he's definitely, and he's got his fingers dug in, he's trying hard, but he's still losing ground. He's leaving the cartoon finger tracks as he goes, but he's still losing ground.
The media narrative is one of inertia and momentum, and he has neither right now.
Yeah,
that's as simple as it is.
So, I forgot we were supposed to talk about George's vote. So,
Trump, I heard.
On Acceptable Vices, George commented on politics and was saying he was leaning towards Bernie. But on Tuesday, he changed his vote to Hillary Clinton and won the state for Hillary.
Man, every vote counts. Remember, kids.
Yeah. And he stated it after he read an article that talked about the death of politics and of actually governing. And he just he recalled Sanders is what he would hope for, but in the reality, Clinton was better at actually running the government that we have. And he decided that he had to go with who would be able to run what we have, because a revolution would not really be possible at this time. So he ended up voting for Hillary.
All right. Well, just to poke in here for a moment, we have lost Greg, and we can't seem to bring him back in. So we need to get together a rescue party. Churba, what movie do you think we should pull from to rescue poor Greg?
The Expendables.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. I now pronounce you man and wife.
in light of Netflix's recent news today, I would just like to make the point that Bernie Sanders is Jeb Bartlett.
What Netflix news?
I'm getting to there. Bernie Sanders is Jeb Bartlett. Hillary Clinton is Frances Underwood. Watch House of Cards season 4 on Netflix.com. Give me money.
We should ask the candidates
It's
the
it's
one
kinda true, though.
question which will determine whether they will become president, which is, do you think I Now Pronounce You Man and Knife is the finest one-liner in the history of action movies?
Wait, depends. Who said that line?
That would be Jason Statham.
Oh,
God, I sounded like
okay.
Jason. My
I
God.
like Mr. Statham. Why doesn't he run for president?
I
he'd be a
agree.
good
Well,
president.
because he's British, but
Whatever. He was a international terrorist in the last Fast and or Furious movie.
That would be bad
People are
for that would kind of be bad for your political campaign too. If you were an actor trying to run and you played like terrorists most of your career.
Yeah, but he was like he was a cool terrorist. He wasn't a lame terrorist.
All the commercials write themselves. They just like play pictures of you trying to blow up like New York and be like, "Do you want this man to be president or a senator or a House of Representative member?"
okay.
That would actually play really well in the South, though.
I just googled for cool terrorists, and I think I'm on a watch list now. But there is actually a thing called Jihad Cool, which is a term used by Western security experts concerning the rebranding of jihadism into something cool to try and recruit young people.
That makes sense. I actually, so every time there's a debate, and one of the knuckle draggers says the phrase "radical Islamic terrorism," I find my favorite Muslim YouTube video, which is an imam on a skateboard doing skateboard tricks, and I believe the text is "radical Islam," like flashing on the screen. Great.
You know that the really scary thing about this whole election is that Trump pretty much like created a path that other people in the future will try to take. So you think Trump's bad now? There will be candidates coming forward in the major parties that are crazier in the future. You think it's going to be hard now, but when you look into the future, there will be other people following this path. Some hopefully will be not as crazy.
You're gonna wish we elected Trump when we elect President Adam Baldwin in 2024.
Oh, God.
I was sure we can't have like oh man, what was his name?
Well, my only hope is that this is breaking the seal that'll have one of the comedians run for office, and we'll get like a Jon Stewart or maybe even an Al Franken. I mean, you know.
I would be totally. You know what? When Al Franken ran for Congress, I was surprised and delighted.
Oh yeah, and he's been a great senator.
He's pretty good.
He takes it very seriously. He's like pretty low key and entertaining at the same time. I mean,
can we not just have Martin Sheen run for president, playing the role of
President Bartlett.
Josiah Bartlett? Yes. Can we just walk up to Martin Sheen and say, "Okay, you're gonna be doing a method role, and you're gonna be running for president as Josiah Bartlett."
West Wing never got a movie, so there you go.
I say
it's a movie.
I say we can have that only if we also have Kevin Spacey playing Frank Underwood on the other side.
No, we should have Bill Pullman run as president so he can give his cool Independence Day speech over and over again.
Oh shit! What's her name?
So we should have Bill Paxton. So that way, when he drops out of the race, he can.
Oh my God!
Say that it's game over, man. Game over.
Well, apparently Hollywood has had this idea already. So they had Martin Sheen and Bill Pullman in Chrysler ads together. For
you know who we should run?
The two spots.
We should run
called Meeting and Write-In Campaign. Those are the names of the spots.
Ooh.
Don't like Trump? Write in
Writers.
Martin Sheen or Martin Sheen or.
You know who we should have? We should have Julia Dreyfus as Selena Meyer from Veep.
Is that a good show?
It is actually a very good show.
I have a hard time. I really like political comedies. I've, for some reason, had a hard time with the first season of that show. I
was in a conversation with in an online conversation with what's his face, Chait, one of our writers, and he said that the people in DC policy people are really love The West Wing, right? Obviously, it's a beloved show. Mm-hmm. But they say that, and I'll always remember this. He said that they say that The West Wing is what the DC policy people wished the White House was like, and Veep is what it's actually like.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I thought it was going to be more like Alpha House.
Pretty high grades.
It was very similar with. Oh God, I always mix up which of the two is the TV show. In the Loop was the movie. What?
Oh.
In the Thick of It.
No. Yeah, In the Loop was the movie. The other one was the TV show. What was it called?
Yeah, The Thick of It.
Yeah.
Apparently, parliamentary insiders went to the producers of the show and were like, "How the fuck did you find this out? What's going on, dudes? Who is leaking confidential shit to you guys so you can make this show?"
That's amazing.
It's like when Get Smart was being aired, people in the FBI were coming to the producers of Get Smart as like, "How do you know about the technology we're working on?" Talking about the shoe phone.
God, I wish I could get an actual shoe phone.
Oh, wouldn't it can't
Probably
be hard to
can.
make one these days.
Yeah. You just get some C4 and you put it in the heel of the shoe. Oh wait, sorry. Wrong shoe device.
Wrong shoe device. And now we've got two of our panelists on a watch list. Great.
Yes, I've avoided.
Hey, at least we can still buy guns.
Oh yeah,
America.
So,
all right.
I guess real quickly we can look at what's coming up next. So there's Kansas caucus, there's Louisiana primary. There's this is Saturday.
Look. All right.
It's the Ides of
This
March.
whole
Oh, this is just tomorrow.
monitoring the political process, I'll be honest, drains the crap out of me. It feels like it's like, ugh.
There's Super Tuesday. There's the Ides of March, and then there's the conventions, and then there's the first scandal in the general, and then there's the second scandal, which is hilarious.
The October surprise.
When Trump
the October
accidentally
surprise.
this first scandal being when Trump accidentally admits he actually has slept with his daughter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, my last real serious point is that most likely the primaries will both be you'll kind of know where they're going to go by the 15th of March. I mean, the 15th of March, you got Florida, Illinois, Missouri, North Carolina, Ohio,
California.
and Ohio. Oh, California's the last primary. It's out in May.
California doesn't.
It's not the last primary, but it's close enough. It's right.
California primary actually happens after the convention.
I think New York might be near
the last primary is technically District of Columbia, but the other last primaries are on the 7th of June, California, Montana, New Jersey, New Mexico, and the North Dakota one for Democrats and South Dakota because they're the same place.
They are.
So, but they're not. Their votes aren't going to matter because this is going to be solved when Trump wins Florida, and maybe if Trump pulls off Ohio, it's over. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
And so is the Republican
Start
Party.
planning your trip to Canada, folks.
Canada's right there. I can see it outside my window.
Oh, is that the basis of your? Is that the basis of your foreign policy?
Yeah.
I'm
a solipsist. That's the basis of all my policies.
It's there. All right then. Well, folks, thanks for a great episode. Google has decided Greg is not fit for this panel any longer and has barred him from entering.
Wrong. You can get fucked, Google.
I feel like it was more that he was on a small island in the Pacific.
Something like that.
Wave. He got hit by a wave.
That's it.
No
We're
more
sending
island.
Jason Statham out to get him.
And or blow him up.
Or
Some
blow him
friends
up.
of mine
You know,
were
was
planning
any
a trip out to
during that
Fiji
meeting
recently.
during
And
that
they
meeting
had
with
to
Jason Statham, were
cancel.
any of you specific as to what he should do when he finds Greg?
He's gonna kill him. That's usually what
Well,
happens, right?
What he does.
Jeez. Oh. Wow.
No, he's going to go to kill him, and then he's going to have a moral quandary.
And then
Yeah.
rescue him.
Should I really kill this rather charismatic, poofy-haired individual? All right. Well, thank you to all of you, Skojo, Nelson, Churba, and you'll see us next week on Friday Night Party Line. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night.